My homage to the titans of anime today, we finally have an anime retelling of an anime called The Unimaginable Adventures of a Reborn Nobleman, if there is a manga on this anime.
But you and I will already start our viewing the orphan boy turned into a famous person later. He knows that his death was a mistake, so the gods made him a vessel by doing everything possible to achieve maximum status.
Shirin is a young guy going to the store at night. He has lost all his relatives and currently lives alone. However, as soon as he approaches the store, he notices people running away from him and two girls bumping into him. They are lying flat on the ground, and the main character notices what is happening there. Some crazy criminal brandishes a knife in front of everyone and promises to kill them. At first, he tries to run away at the same time ordering the girls to run too, but notices that the girls are too scared to move. He rushes at the madman and pushes him to the ground. He tells the girls to hurry up and leave until they notice that because of his bad luck, the criminal instantly stabbed him right in front of their eyes and ran away. The girls hurry to look at him, but it's too late. The boy is already breathing his last breath. The girls can't believe their eyes and are crying, but he is glad that he managed to save them despite the fact that after that they cried in the end. He resigned himself with his fate and suddenly woke up to find himself in a chick bedroom, lying on the bed. He thought he had survived and was in a private hospital, but when he looks around, he sees a maid and a random woman. The maid starts crying his master Cain, and another woman immediately hugs him, and another woman immediately hugs him and asks if he recognizes his mother. He's okay, but he still doesn't understand why the hell they always call him Cain. He doesn't know what's going on and who these women are, and more importantly, who this guy in the mirror is, as expected. He starts to worry where he is, who this guy is, who these people are. Calming down, he begins to realize that this is his business, and the women will explain that he slept through the hole a week after he was bedridden due to fever. These two leave to cook him some food, and looking in the mirror, he understands what is happening and understands that now he is Cain, the son of a noble man, and more importantly, now he is living his dream at last. He is reincarnated into another world. Cain is shocked by this revelation. He wanted to catch the criminal, but then he was wounded alive and died, but still not all hope is lost. He really would like to be reincarnated into another world someday. And most importantly, he found out about his pestle size, and at that moment, Sylvia caught him in not at the moment, from which he shifts even more. Sylvia has been trying to keep him up to date since he fell into a coma. He learns that he was born into a noble family that governs the territory of Gracia, and that he is the third son in the family Silverford, judging by the furniture around him in the mansion which he is located. He also understands that his family is very rich. He also has two brothers, one sister and one stepmother. Later, he wants to go outside and see what's going on. There, he asks Celia when he can go outside, but she will tell him everything about the territory of the Forest of Monsters and Adventurers, as well as everything else. He is thrilled that he died in his former life, and Sylvia tells him that he could become a wizard when he grows up to get rid of monsters. So excited that he wants to try magic immediately, but Sylvia tells him that people can use magicians only after they turn 5 years old, so he needs to wait at least 2 more years. When he turns 5, he has to go and get a blessing from God to finally use it. But he's too excited to wait 2 years to try magic. He wants to do magic right now. So he wants to find a way to use magic as soon as possible. But first he has to master the very basics, like learning to write and read. And it wasn't a difficult task for him because he was in high school, and his parents are starting to think it's weird because he's changed a lot since he woke up. He gets furious, but explains that he was just doing his best to study. And that's when the father says that since he is the third son, he is literally doomed, and he has no rights when it comes to a family heirloom. Cain takes this opportunity to then ask for books about magic and the world around him. His sister doesn't like it because she can't use magic, but he secretly uses magic so that people don't notice him. But nevertheless, he can't let down his guard because his sister has a younger brother complex. She tells him about the world around her and the history of magic. She tells him that their kingdom was formed by a random guy whose name is also Japanese. She tells him about all the different races of the elf, dwarves, and animal people, and he literally lives his dream. And now 2 years have passed, and now that he is 5 years old, the day has come when he will visit the temple to receive his blessing. They all leave the house together and get into the carriage to go on a journey. Cain is happy that they finally realize their magical status and dare to go on the road. He asks his sister what the status screen looks like, and she shows him it. He carefully studies her profile and sees the level of her magical power. He sees that she is obsessed with him and almost suffocates from trifles. She's embarrassed, but he distracts attention to her magical levels of 2 points each. His father tells him even more about the levels of magic they are given by God's blessing and range from 1 to 5. Soon they reach the temple. They go inside and the ritual begins according to the will of the gods. The priest pronounces a spell, and Cain is looking forward to his magical status being revealed to him. Suddenly he hears someone laughing and sees a bright light behind the statues of the gods they. Next second, he opens his eyes and realizes that he is in the world of the gods. One after another, many others appear godlike people. They are glad that Kaina has finally turned 5 years old because an eternity has passed since they waited. They call him by his real name, Shin. They introduce themselves to him and explain how he ended up in this world. In fact, this is another case when a mistake occurred. He should not have died. The maniac should have stumbled during the beck and then be arrested. But the man decided to become a hero and went for it, so he died for absolutely no reason. The gods thought he was a good guy and decided to reincarnate him in this world. They intended to seal his memories, to avoid those associated with changing diapers and other things. But in the end, he somehow awakened them. Cain thanks them for giving him the opportunity to preserve his memories because he did not have any relatives in his home world, and the memories of this makes him appreciate his family even more. Each of the gods is getting closer to him. They give him their blessing and promise to meet him again. Upon returning to the temple, everyone comments this light and the possibility that it may have been blessed by all the gods. His father is delighted and asks him to show his status window, but Cain knows that something is wrong. He means that God, the creation of Dare, told him that he has a little gift for him. This suspicion makes Cain pretend to be sick and run away from this place, just to hide and look at his statistics, and to his surprise, he turned out to be right. And when I say that all the indicators are maximum, I don't mean the 5th level. He already has a whole 10th level, and he also has an S rank despite the fact that he is only 5 years old. But fortunately, this old god had enough common sense, and he gave a magic spell that allows him to fake the window numbers of his status. Later during dinner, his father will throw him to show the window of his status. He pretends that everything is normal at his level between the 1st and 3rd, which is already too strong for a 5-year-old child. Of course, everyone immediately gets shocked, and if you think about it, he has more than 30,000 magic power, which is 300 times stronger than the best magicians in the country. All members of his family are so shocked that his father is too big for him. He never shows his status knowing that he is much stronger. He will explain what will happen if Cain shows off or makes a wrong move. He will be considered a threat to the whole world and put under surveillance. Returning to his room, Cain begins to realize his mistake and that he should have lowered his indicators even more. But then he notices a book on summoning magic. He has always been interested in summoning cute animals and playing with them, and he decides to summon something outside. He proceeds to the ritual to summon something fluffy, but what comes out of this circle does not look like a fluffy at all. Since this is a demon for some reason, his sister and the cat girl are walking on the street at this very moment, and the demon is preparing to attack them, and Cain rushes to stop him standing in front of them. The demon screams from the girls. Squeal, it makes him realize how he tried to protect the other 2 girls of his past life. He rushes forward again. He uses his fire magic, jumping on the beast from above, and is about to strike him. But the demon hits him with his fist, and while he is being beaten, gathering all his courage, he utters a spell that returns the demon to where he came from and saves the situation, and the girls rush to his aid. To be honest, I still don't know where this cat girl came from, and neither does he, because he just pronounces cat ears instead of her name. His sister is torn apart, and he lies and thinks that he is dying once again for protecting 2 girls, and he did not have the opportunity to touch the cat's ears. The girls cry even harder as he begins to close his eyes, accept his death, until he just gets up and realizes that he is not dead. He doesn't even have any injuries on his body. His sister cried a little more and then smiled and hugged him, which made him realize that in his previous life he could only make other girls cry. But this time, everything will be different. He will protect the smiles of everyone present. During the banquet, he introduced himself and talks about his desire to explore the world and become an adventurer. Well, the retelling has come to its end. If you want to continue, just type a bunch of likes and all that. Of course, this retelling will come out as new episodes are released. but I wish you everything was fine. Remember, this is just the beginning. There are a lot of interesting things ahead of you until new meetings and bye. Bye.